Your attention, please. And now, on with the show.
Coming to you from quarantined New York, it's Unger the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, we're going to be reviewing the new drama, Tommaso, and the remastered 1982 drama, The Gray Fox, with special guest critics Chris Clemente and Matt Habermann. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Unger the Radar, where we talk all things film. And right now I have with me a wonderful panel of guest film critics tonight. We've got Mr. Chris Clemente. Hello.
Hello. How's it going, Randy?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, given the circumstances, but we're making it okay. Yeah.
And Mr. Matt Habermann. Hey, Matt.
How you doing, Randy? How's it going?
Good. It's been too long. I've missed you on the show.
It's been a while. I can agree with that.
How's everything going?
Yeah.
It's going. Got all this free time right now, so I'm trying to enjoy the best I can.
We've got the gang back together again. I love it. Right? Great.
Virtual band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt, what have you? What we've been doing the pandemic picks. So, what have you been watching this week to survive the pandemic?
Well, I started. HBO Max just came out, so what's on there? I've been watching Batman, the 1989 film.
Nice.
And also an old classic, Casablanca.
Ooh.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's one of the greatest films ever made. Awesome.
Is it a first-time watch for you, or is it just a rewatch at this point,
It's
Matt?
kind of like a rewatch. I mean, I've seen Batman so many times, but Michael Keaton Batman is my favorite. Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman of all the time.
Oh, of course.
Preach.
Yeah.
That and Back to the Future.
Nice. Of course. These are staples, they're just must watches,
Yeah, and you guys are both fathers, so you got to pass this down to the next generation.
Of course. Of course.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who would we be if, movie geek wise, if we didn't pass down these iconic movies?
It's up to us. It's a responsibility.
That's right.
To pass down art.
That's right. Movie theaters won't be doing it, and although China is opening up theaters again with older movies that they could watch and people could watch. So you could watch Taxi Driver in a Chinese movie theater now, or
But how do they separate? Do they have plastic shields between each seat? How does that work?
Some I've seen images online that some theaters are actually dismantling their seats and spacing them apart, 6 feet apart. Yeah,
they're going to lose a lot of revenue that way.
Yeah, this is definitely a game changer for a lot of theaters. It's I know Tenet is going to be the big one. A lot of the major chains around here, like Regal and AMC, they're using Tenet in July as the reopening of not just of communities, but of theaters. So we'll see how well it does.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it should just go straight to drive-in movies. They can be released now. Drive-in movie theaters are making a comeback.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, even county parks are making into drive-in movie series.
Yeah.
So anyone can now make a drive-in theater anywhere.
Right. And a lot of people are that concept of just projecting on a wall outside, just project it on the apartment complex next door, and you have a little outdoor movie theater.
Yeah. And we've talked about this a little bit in the past, Chris, but the idea of a drive-in movie theater now, I think the only downside to that would be the ticket sales. They're gonna raise those very, very high because people are.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think before the pandemic, drive-ins were more of a nostalgic factor, but now since they're kind of the go-to right now, they actually have the upper hand. So why not, why not put some more cheddar in your
$30 a
pocket?
car. That's what it's probably going to be. $30 a car.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And concessions are going to be up through the roof too.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Have
know.
you guys done drive-ins before?
I have done drive-ins in the past. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Um,
it once in
yeah.
New Hampshire, and it was pretty cool.
I used to
I
go
remember-
frequently. Yeah, when I lived further upstate, close to Albany. But the thing with drive-ins that they would have to kind of handle now is that they were always kind of behind with their circulation. So like they would show like a film that was out earlier in the year or out earlier in the summer. It wasn't not to say that it didn't happen, but like even now if you look at drive-in schedules, I get their newsletters and whatnot. They're showing like Onward, or they're showing something that's already released. So I think if anything, I think it'll upgrade their business models a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see like this flip.
I wonder if Nighthawk or Alamo Drafthouse are doing that. Like if they have like a separate like a drive-in department, like
Alamo would be a perfect part because Alamo has those tools. They have done a business model for it before. Alamo should get right into it. I love Alamo.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Matt,
I remember,
did we see Groundhog Day together there?
Yes, we did.
We did. That was awesome. Great movie.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. And like both of you, myself, and most of the viewers of mine, we love the nostalgic factor.
Oh, sure.
That it doesn't really get any better than an old 80s sci-fi movie on the big screen.
No, it doesn't.
You just get that tingly feeling in your hands and in your heart, and
yes.
It might be a heart attack, but it's usually a nostalgia factor.
Minor heart attack. Fine.
Yes, right.
I don't want to say it's the virus, but
No.
That's movie magic, baby.
That's right. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see just how theaters bounce back from all this. It seems like it's really downhill. So which is a shame. Because I've said this quite a bit on your show, Randy, but I do love streaming, and I think the accessibility is great nowadays, but it's just a different feeling in a theater. You're totally consuming yourself in a movie that it's unprecedented to what you can feel at home, what you're viewing at home. Nothing matches that. So
I think it's the communal aspect of it all. Just
right
in a room with like 70 people and just enjoying the same thing at the same time. It's just really.
I think it's gonna have a comeback in a way, because the thing is that we're gonna come back at it. It's gonna be a little different in the beginning, but it's gonna improve in time.
Let's hope.
Yeah. I think hopefully the idea is we're putting together the practices that we're set foot now. Like even if you think about we're more hygienic now than we ever have. We're reducing the carbon footprint a lot. Between not going outside as much or reducing the amount of time. So if we can kind of channel that in a way that's healthier for the environment and healthier for business, I think we can spin this into a positive. It doesn't have to be like a case of The Walking Dead every day, but it's something that we can kind of learn from.
I know, and we're all very conscious and aware of what's going on, and
right.
Even though there's a lot of negative right now in the world, there's a lot of positive too. And I don't want to sound too corny, but I think we will get through this. And
sure,
we already have. We're already getting through this.
Yeah,
we are. I'm not to get political or anything, but I do feel like there's a lot of mixed messages going on between businesses and state, local, and federal government that's really confusing the heck out of people. But I do think we are getting better. I just do hope that we're not escalating it too much right now. You know, we're still at a point where we need to figure out a vaccine, and we need to understand a little bit more about what's going on before we can really jump the gun and say, "Hey, we're back to normal."
I mean, we can only do so much as citizens.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are doing your part. I'm trying to do my part. I mean, in a small way, I think this show is a contribution, you know, to
Oh, sure.
people, you know, because we're informing everybody about films, like especially tonight. These are two small films that people probably haven't heard of or have heard of but haven't seen, and to just shine a light on these films is really, I think I
Sure.
call it a service. So
Yeah. No. I totally agree with that. You know, like now more than ever, we need to kind of there's an expression that we use in my family that we have to stay small right now. We have to kind of just be in our homes. We need to kind of not worry about too much about what's going on or get the itch to go out that much. And we have to kind of protect ourselves, and we have to kind of be resourceful and kind of rely on our entertainment a little bit more nowadays. And or else we're going to go insane. So it's a good time to, within our limitations, to think creatively and to look at what we enjoy. What do we enjoy? We enjoy movies. We enjoy watching with our families and loved ones. And I think in a way, I was having a conversation with this about this with someone not too long ago, but I think it's also strengthening the concept of social media. I think now more than ever, social media is actually social. Like it feels more impactful. Like even what we're doing now, is kind of a part of like that social media realm. And I think it's closer from a digital and a cyber perspective than what we've been kind of superficiously that's not even a word, promoting or posting on Facebook or Twitter. It's not just about us using it as a platform, but it's us trying to connect with people because we're starving for that. So I think through all the badness that's coming out of this, I think there's some good, and there's a lot of healthy habits that are forming because of this. I think it's really up to us if we can continue that. So
I hope so. I mean, the internet is basically the world right now. Everyone is living online, and social media and entertainment are basically at the forefront. Next to staying healthy, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna take it one day at a time.
So what pandemic picks are you watching?
Well, aside from the screening links that I watch every week, I'm actually one episode away from finishing Better Call Saul, and I will be up to date. Gentlemen, this show, I think I might like it a little bit more than Breaking Bad itself.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, because
I love Better Call Saul.
It has a strong element of humor to kind of break up, the violence and the drama. And I'm in love with Bob Odenkirk. He's great.
Yeah.
I love doing Mr. Show. Bob Odenkirk.
Okay.
And just to let you know, that show is on HBO Max.
Okay.
Nice.
I never liked Bob Odenkirk before, but his appearance. He was actually in the Larry Sanders Show for a few episodes. He played kind of like a busy agent. It's kind of like his character of Jimmy McGill. So this show, it's thrown some curveballs at me. So a lot of surprises, a lot of shocking moments.
Nice.
I want to see what happens. I want to say it's gonna keep going, right?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm just waiting for it to be complete so I can really take full advantage of it.
Nice.
Yeah. What I'm finding though is like I'm getting into these series that are currently in circulation, going through like a season or two on Netflix or Amazon, and you're done with them, and then you have to wait, and then you forget once they upload new episodes, if you saw the other ones, or like I'm forgetting a lot of what I'm watching. So I like to just wait, complete the whole series, and judge it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what got me? Like, so about maybe a month or two ago, when the pandemic started,
Mm-hmm.
I started watching Ozark, and
Yeah.
I pretty much binge watched the whole thing. I loved it, and I needed more. I needed a
Sure.
lot more of the same type of style. So Better Call Saul was on Netflix's, like recommended for me.
Mm-hmm.
And, the rest is history. It's just a great show.
Cool.
Are you current? Did you watch the whole current season that's just been released by AMC?
I have one more episode of is season 4 the most recent? I think it is.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah, so I have one more episode to go, then I'm done. Sadly, I might rewatch Breaking Bad just for the heck of it.
Go for it.
I can't wait. Season 5 is going to be the last season.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. And it'll just
Uh,
kind of mesh right into Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like when a series kind of puts an end to it. Like, that there's a final season coming up instead of it either being canceled or in limbo. So that's good to know. I'm happy about that.
And then after you watch Better Call Saul, if you have to watch Breaking Bad again, then watch El Dorado.
Yeah.
El Dorado? Oh, I didn't even.
El Camino. El Camino.
El Camino.
Yep,
El Camino.
Yep.
Is that with is that with the cult leader? Oh no, I'm thinking of Waco. I'm sorry, Waco.
No.
That was pretty good.
That's a Netflix movie of Breaking Bad that takes
Right.
place right after the events of Breaking Bad with Jesse. So.
And it Jesse Pinkman. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That whole world.
Yeah. I saw that at Alamo when it came out.
Cool.
I rewatched Breaking Bad, and then right before that, right after that, I went to see El Camino, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
Do you think they're gonna expand a little more, like make another movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, they could. They could. Vince Gilligan is just a genius, but and his whole crew. But I think it's a nice, wrap up. It's a nice closure that they gave Jesse.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I
mean,
expect
the
to
possibility, anything is possible.
Yeah,
Anything's
or maybe they'll
possible.
create a new show. Totally new thing.
Yeah. I would like to see Vince Gilligan do, like, he's a producer on Better Call Saul, and I think he directed an episode or two, but he isn't really involved as much as Breaking Bad, right?
I think he created it. Vince Gilligan and
Okay, but is he active with it? Like he was pretty much the showrunner for Breaking Bad.
Okay.
I know it's his concept of Better Call Saul, but I'm not sure he's involved with it.
I don't know how
showrunner,
he is involved, but I don't know how heavily he's involved.
Yeah. Like, I would love to see. I don't know. Like, this is a good segue to my pandemic picks.
Okay.
I like the idea of when you have a masterpiece, just don't go on to do anything else. Just like leave it closed. Like, actually, one of your favorite shows, Randy, Seinfeld, right? Like, yes. Jerry Seinfeld notoriously said, like, he doesn't have an urge to do another show because he's like, that was a hit. That was like, it's legendary now, and he's like, I don't need to do another show, and it's right, because like if he did another show, we would be judging him based off of Seinfeld and not new content. So with that said, right before this show that we're doing now, like I caught up a little bit with 2 episodes of Space Force.
I'm actually in the middle of episode 2 right now. It's on pause.
Yeah. And it has Steve Carell and has his name is escaping me. No, the creator.
Greg Daniels.
Greg Daniels, right? And I gotta say, I'm hardly laughing at it.
It's like a weird, very dry sense of humor that it's got a lot of misses. The jokes are
and I feel like the cast is really cool. I feel like they pull together famous people from all these famous TV shows. Like
Even Fred
has this
Willard
like.
had an appearance in the first episode.
I'm sorry.
Fred Willard was in the first episode.
Oh, yeah, that's
Great,
right. That's
great.
right. Yes, yeah. May he rest in peace. But they have the cast. It's just falling short for me. And now it's like, well, like, is this the legacy now of Steve Carell and Greg Daniels? Like, they
Yeah.
could have just left it with The Office and that's it.
But you know what? Sometimes they can strike gold twice. Like
Right.
the creators of The Simpsons had Futurama, and that was pretty good.
True. It. I'll give you that. It's always
It's like random.
roll of the dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, have you been checking out Space Force? Are you interested?
I am interested, but right now we're getting into. I've been watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I know they're doing their final season on ABC. So that's my series that I'm binge watching, catching up on, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I never really got into that, but
me either.
And it's actually pretty cool. I mean, there are some things that deal right with in the Marvel universe, but it's clearly just the agents. It has nothing to do with the Avengers or anything like that.
But don't they have some of the characters like the actress Colby Smulders and Agent Coulson? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's in that. He's the main. And Samuel L. Jackson was in a couple of the early episodes.
Okay, guys. Well, I think I think we should start with our first movie review of the evening. It's a very small film, art film, I'd say. It's called Tommaso, and it stars Willem Dafoe, the great Willem Dafoe, as an artist who's basically a few days in the life of this struggling artist and his relationship with his younger wife and their daughter. And basically not a lot happens in this movie. It just follows this guy's life and all the troubles he's involved with. And I think it's a very realistic look of what it means to be a struggling artist and to have a family, and then just basically to just care for them and to just try to navigate through the tough waters of life sometimes. And it's written and directed by Abel Ferrara, who actually did Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel from 1992. So, and also King of New York. Very good director, very, very interesting eye. I like this movie. I didn't think it was stellar. I mean, it was pretty uneventful, but I thought that Willem Dafoe carried it pretty well, and it's a decent film experience. So, Chris, what did you think of Tommaso?
Yeah, I love Tommaso. I think it was an elegant, beautiful movie in a very small scale. And I think you hit it right in the head, Randy. It's a small movie. It's a very realistic movie. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think if there's one genre that is really hits home to me, it is kind of a slice of life type of movie. It's almost reminiscent of like a Blue Valentine, that type of feel where you're just following a day in the life of this character. And William Dafoe does a stellar job as always. I think he just anything that he does, it's pretty much gold. And I think you really just feel for this character. And I enjoyed seeing it in a very claustrophobic scope. It was a very small scope. It was a very one camera shot type of movie, and I thought that was exquisitely done. It was a great choice because it really has that kind of close knit feel that you're involved in this character's life. And what I really enjoyed about this movie is that it poses a lot of questions about this character that you don't necessarily get a lot of answers to. And the answers that you do get unfolded kind of as you walk along this character, walk beside him in his relationships. Whereas they don't really bulk it up as setup in the beginning of the movie. I thought they kind of layered it out very nicely throughout. So I thought it was a great choice. Yeah, it's nothing that will blow your mind, but I just think it's nice, especially in this climate, to kind of not necessarily escape into a fantasy world, but really kind of be kind of relate to certain characters, and this is certainly that type of piece. It really reminded me of a very realistic approach to Last Tango in Paris. With the instead of Paris, you have Italy, and
Hmm.
instead of it kind of being an older guy that's living out his fantasy, it's almost like this older guy who's living out a reality with his younger wife. So I think it's just a very down to earth, very watchable, very relatable movie that I think everyone should really watch and really soak in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially the location, like Rome, it's really
Mm.
shot beautifully, and I think
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
location is almost as much a character as Willem Dafoe is around his
Beautiful.
character. I mean, it's just it's represented and shot so beautifully that you just
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
think it's shot not to glorify Rome.
Mm,
It's shot in a way that makes it. It's an overused word that I'm using, but it's very realistic. It doesn't necessarily, you know, want you to look at the Colosseum or the ruins. It wants you to
right.
take a look at the street side and the apartment buildings and just a day in the life. And I think through that you see the simplicity and the beauty of Rome.
Yeah.
And it actually reminds me of certain films like Roma,
Mm,
the newer film Roma,
right.
and also reminds me of even like The Descendants,
Oh my
with
god, that's a great movie. George Clooney.
yeah, right. It takes you to Hawaii, but it doesn't necessarily show you, the glorified version of Hawaii. Yeah, you
Mm,
see some beautiful shots of scenery, but you're also seeing the street life of Hawaii, and that's something that, is very realistic, down to earth, not always beautiful in a landscapey type of way, but
right.
beautiful in a way that you could kind of relate to it and appreciate it even more.
Right. It's a human drama through and through for sure. Um,
Perfect. Yeah.
Matt, what did you think of the film?
Well, at first I did not know what to think of it. I was like, what kind of film is this in the beginning? But then, when I saw William Dafoe, I mean, I gotta say, William Dafoe plays a crazy person well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I loved him in Spider-Man
Right. Of
as,
course.
Of course.
but I mean, seeing that film makes me really want to go to Italy. I mean,
Yeah.
I just for the way that just stop in the coffee bar and take a sip of the espresso. I want to do. It makes me want
Mm-hmm.
to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think when a
Well,
movie like touches you in that way and like really makes you want to you want to like just be absorbed into the movie and just live that reality. So I think that's what movie magic is, personally.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. You want to kind of be on the sideline of this character. You kind of want to walk in his shoes and walk right beside him. You want to sip the espressos and you want to talk Italiano and you want to, just be a part of that day in the life. And I think I love city movies like that. It's one of the reasons why I love like Midnight in Paris or something like that, where you're just walking along and you're absorbing the culture and you're kind of giggling and having a good time alongside the characters. So yeah,
And Chris, I know you're a big fan of the Before trilogy.
yeah. See, yep, yep. Good comparison. Yep.
I got a little vibe here with
Yeah,
that trilogy.
yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. It's just
Um,
a walk in the park. It's a walk in the streets. And I love those type of movies. Yeah.
and you know what, Matt? To go back to Spider-Man, actually, I think
Yeah.
that was one of the first movies I think I've ever seen Willem Dafoe in, and he was so
Oh
good as
yeah.
the villain, you know. But he's got kind of a villainous face, kind of like this
Oh, he
very
does
very
absolutely.
distinct look.
Sure.
But you know, when he makes a movie like this, or the Florida Project, which also kind of followed him a day in the life of this kind of everyday man who is faced with like these enormous challenges, and
Mm,
I think he's the perfect actor to play that type of role. And
Oh,
I'm
I
yeah.
think so too. And it was just, I mean, some parts of it, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just some of it didn't make sense to me. You want to know what this character is like? He definitely had a dark side. There was definitely a dark side in that
Mhm.
character,
right,
and it
Mhm.
was just unraveling.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's a
Yeah.
true artist, a true actor. Like has many layers to his personality, to his character, And
Right.
I think Defoe does it with pretty much all of his performances, with all of his films. I think this movie
Yeah.
makes me want to see more of his work. So
Yeah. I have never seen Florida Project. I heard great things, and I want to see it now. So yeah, the last thing I saw him in was Lighthouse,
oh yeah,
which
yeah,
was, which was phenomenal. Yeah.
awesome movie. He
Yeah.
played off of Pattinson so well in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a chameleon type of guy where he could literally play anybody. I think people see him more as a almost like a villain. I think people kind of see him more as like a Nick Cage type of actor, where like he goes like a bombastic route,
Yeah,
and playing kind of like a subdued, straight character is, I think it's in his wheelhouse more nowadays, and
yeah,
I just think it kind of shows his range.
yeah.
Because he himself is just an artist where he takes on he could take on big movies. Wasn't he in Aquaman recently? Right.
Yeah, he played one of like the royal
Right.
figures. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but like he could also do like a Florida Project or this type of movie where he just kind of wants to do it just because, you know.
and also he was in a film called At Eternity's Gate, where he played Pablo Picasso. No, sorry, Vincent Van
Yeah.
Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh,
Yeah.
and just a very disturbed, figure in
Yeah.
history. He just does it so well, like
Yeah. I mean, I remember there were stretches of me going to like Tribeca Film Festival, and like he would play like these cameos or these small parts in these very offbeat small films, and like you could tell that he just does it for the pure enjoyment of the craft. So
yeah. And he's worked
yeah,
with Wes Anderson. He was
yeah,
in. He actually played Jesus Christ in The Last Temptation of
yeah,
Christ, the
yeah,
Scorsese
yeah.
film.
Scorsese, yeah,
So I think chameleon is a very, very appropriate way to describe this
yeah,
actor.
yeah.
So that's
He likes to do his own laundry. Uh, There was I saw him on an interview, and it's a known fact that wherever he goes, he likes to not do like the laundry service. He likes to do his own laundry because he
that
finds it very relaxing, and he finds it very humbling too.
that is very,
So,
very
yeah,
interesting trivia. Thank you, Chris. I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah. It reminded me
it.
of what was that movie with Brendan Fraser and Al Brooks, The Scout.
I love The
Remember
Scout.
The Scout?
Oh,
Where he likes to see the laundry. It kind of calms himself down.
Yeah, it's
Just
therapeutic.
yeah, yeah. So I just see like William Dafoe with his smile, like
Very, very strange. I love it though.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so Matt, Tommaso, see it, skip it. What do you think?
I'm in between on this one. Either see it or skip it. I mean, it's not if you're like a real. I would say if you're a real artist, see it.
Mhm.
But in between, if it's something you really want to pay attention to, or you just are gonna be confused, don't see it
Yeah.
because it's just not worth it for you.
I'd say see it if you're a Willem Dafoe completist and you want to just see everything this actor has done. This really highlights his ability as an actor. So
I
I say see it.
I say see it too. I mean, we need more films like this. You know, like we just need to kind of take a step back and just breathe a little bit from these larger films and just realize that hey, this is part of the artistic process too, you know. And yeah, for every Marvel movie, for every big blockbuster movie, I would love to see one of these being made. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
I will
definitely
say
need.
this: if you are going to Italy, then see it.
Right, right.
yeah, hmm
Perfect. We definitely need more of this art around. So definitely during this
right.
time. So. Okay, so Tommaso is opening in Kino Marquee Virtual Cinemas starting June 5th. So check that out if you are a Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
fan. This is your movie. And if you are a fan of Italy too, this is just a beautifully shot film, and it should not go unnoticed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all right, guys. So we're going to take another short commercial break, but we'll be back with our second film review, The Gray Fox, right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending, interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-66.
Hey guys, welcome back to Under the Radar. I'm your host Randy Unger, and it's time for our second movie review, The Gray Fox, which is actually from 1982, but is being re-released. It's a remastered version, and it is a very, very beautiful film. It's a true story of Bill Miner, who was a stagecoach robber in the days of the Wild West in the mid 1800s, and he is released out of prison 30 years later. He's now an older gentleman, and he makes his way to British Columbia, where he basically, old habits die hard. He gets back into the life of crime, starting with holding up trains. And basically, he meets a woman, he falls in love, and it's basically about this aging criminal who is trying to do the right thing, but kind of falls back on his habits. And it's shot beautifully in parts of Washington State and Canada. It's a Western. It's based on a true story, and it stars Richard Farnsworth, who you might know him as the local law enforcement in the movie Misery. And I mean, this film came out in 1982, but the remastered transfer, it looks beautiful. It looks like it could have been made this decade. And yeah, I mean, I was really pleasantly surprised and how epic this movie was, and how beautifully shot. What do you guys think of The Gray Fox, Matt?
Oh, I actually enjoyed this film. I'm not a big Western fan, but this was a real Western. I mean, just to see for how it was based on a true story. And it's not like, we've seen a lot of American Westerns, but this is true, like a story that's based in Canada. It was really interesting to hear, because I'm also, in college, I took a course on Canadian history. So it was nice to know some more of Canadian history. And for this Western is, like you said, yeah, this is a person that was past in stagecoach robbery. He got into jail. He did his time. He got out, traveled to British Columbia, and old habits come back to him. It's
right.
When you are knowing to do something for so long, and that's what you know what to do, it's very easy to go back in and do it again than to try something new.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, it was just a really interesting story of that dynamic. Like, he's not really a hero at all. He's not a villain either. He's kind of in between. I'd call him an anti-hero. And it's very interesting that this is a true story. That really resonated with me, that this actually happened. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Chris, what did you think?
Loved it. Also, just a great pick. I think today's theme is just beautifully shot movies, and it was fantastic. It was so gorgeous. I love the scenery, love the landscape shots, love the first person shooting of it, and it did remind me a lot of these kind of nature, wilderness type of films. It really reminded me. I got this vibe of like Jeremiah Johnson from it. It was just kind of that, in that, kind of woodsy, kind of luxurious type of landscape feel, that lush look. And you nailed it by saying that it could have been made in this decade. The remastering was beautiful. And I really felt for the character.
Yeah.
It was just I really felt for the character. It reminded me a little bit of Old Man with a Gun with Robert Redford. It was kind of like that similarity between an older guy who has a life in crime, who gets out. That's the only thing he knows, so he kind of goes back and doing what he does because, as you guys mentioned, old habits are hard.
Yeah. But that was more of
Old habits die young, so that they know what he knows. And I thought,
was the Old Man and the Gun, was that more of a comedy? That's the vibe. I didn't see it, but
no, it was a thriller. It had comedic uh, elements to it, but it was pretty much like a suspense thriller, a heist movie almost, following this older gentleman. It took place in the 70s. It's not a Western at all, but after kind of talking about this film, it has its similarities. It could have been a modern day Western a little bit because it is about bank robbery and following this guy
yeah.
on foot. But
You know,
as far as Westerns are concerned, it did have like a very much like an Unforgiven type of feel to it. It kind of reminded me of an older Clint Eastwood,
yeah.
and I just loved the acting. As you said, he's an anti-hero, but it's an anti-hero where you really do kind of have compassion for and
Yeah.
you feel for him because you understand that this is the plight that he took. This is the life that he knows, and that's that. And I just thought I thought it was an interesting pick too. I was confused why we were watching a 1980s movie, but
yeah.
but
Yeah, kind of random on my part.
but it totally fits today's world. I think there's this resurgence of westerns, and I think this kind
Oh
of
yeah,
falls right in there. I think people will love this movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the resurgence of westerns. I mean, I would like to see definitely more westerns. I mean, I guess the most recent one I know is for the Hateful Eight. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen the remastered of Tombstone, which is a great
Yeah,
film.
Yeah.
yeah,
Great cast on that one. And
I
yeah.
mean,
yeah.
for all,
This almost had a Tarantino feel to it, in my opinion. Because I don't think there are any other directors right now that can pull this off today. To actually use the location in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, I think probably because of that. I think it feels like a Tarantino movie because Tarantino loves to shoot on print,
Hmm.
and that obviously was at that time. So even if it's remastered, it's still a print version at that point that you're looking at. So I can see that. It's still like that wide scope. So
Right.
yeah,
now I
I
know for
understand that. Yeah.
now I know for Tarantino, like the westerns like Django Unchained and the Hateful Eight. Was there another
Mhm.
western he did?
No.
I think those were the
Well,
two main ones. The two.
he the character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a
Right.
Western star,
Right.
a Western TV star, but it's not a Western movie.
Mm.
Interesting.
I'm actually rewatching that. I'm in the middle of
Nice.
it.
Matt, are you big on westerns?
I'm not big on westerns, but I'll tell you what my favorite western movie is.
Yes.
I think you know it really well
Oh, of
because
course.
it's one of the posters on your back room. Back to the Future Part 3.
Very, yes, of course. And that is also actually a very beautifully shot western, if I might say. And
It
yeah,
is.
it
It
does.
is. I think it's a totally. I think it gets panned for being the worst of the three, right? But I love it.
It gets a lot
I,
of
I'll,
hate.
I'll defend that movie. I think it's. Well, I'm getting into territory with you guys. I'm sorry, but I think it's. If I had to rank them, I think it would be 1, 3, 2.
Really? I think
Yeah.
I think I like two the best. Even though the first one is
Yeah.
considered the best, I really
Yeah.
think the second one is just a lot of fun. The going
Yeah.
back and forth between the time periods. I don't know. It's just
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I just, what I felt, and I rewatched this not too long ago, so it's kind of fresh in my memory. But I couldn't believe how much footage they took from the original and actually like put it in the second one. And
yeah.
it went back and forth quite a bit, but I respect it. I like it. I have it. I own it. I love it. I'll watch it. But
I was watching on YouTube about in regards with Back to the Future Part 3 where because when they shot the Hill Valley, you know, most like for Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2, for the Hill Valley shot was done on Universal Studios Hollywood, but not for Back to the Future Part 3. It was actually up in Northern California in the Central Valley, I think Johnston, California.
Oh, are you talking about 1885 Hill
Yeah,
Valley?
the 1885 Hill Valley.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't look anything like the previous Hill Valleys, but they did a pretty good job of kind of recreating it to make it look like that.
Yeah, well, if you look, the historical parts are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not the town, but like the tracks, you know, where they had the train shooting, where they shot of the train, and some areas, they're still there.
Yeah. And didn't they have the time train on display at Universal Studios? Right, set out.
They
outside the
still
ride?
do the Jules Verne. They call it the Jules Verne.
Oh my! And they got rid of that ride to replace it with The Simpsons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What a
And
great ride!
when we were talking about it, and you and I were talking about this before, that it would be cool if they did like a Cafe 80s with a reenactment of the scenes in Back to the Future Part 2 at Universal Studios Florida and Hollywood.
I would love that. Yeah, I remember being a kid going to Universal Studios Hollywood, and I saw the actual clock tower back then. This was 1995, so it was still there, still intact. And just walking down the streets, there were some streets that kind of felt like the set of like the Hill Valley, like the alleyway where Doc parks the DeLorean, where he knocks out Jennifer with the sleep hypnotizer. Yeah, but anyway, I'm kind of geeking out right now. Yeah, I mean,
That's what we do. That's what we do.
this is it. This is the show. And I want to mention something for all Back to the Future enthusiasts. We've got the NECA, the company. Is it NECA or NECA? NECA. They came out with Marty McFly, like G.I. Joe style dolls. They had the one with him from 1985 in his 85 gear. Also, they have 2015 version Marty. They've got Biff Tannen from the 50s, and they also are releasing figures from the animated series, Back to the Future animated series from 1991. Which I don't know if you guys watched that, but that was like I had to watch that Saturday mornings. That was one of my favorite shows. So yeah. So guys, so I think they're coming out in August, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you're into Back to the Future, they would look great on your desk at home or on your bookshelves or whatever. So yeah, because Matt, I know you're a big collector. So.
I am. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of spend that money on those things now. But
yeah, I hear you. I still got to get my hands
on your wish list.
I see it.
On your list, and
yeah.
It's good for Christmas or birthdays or anything. So there you
go. Chris, are you a collector yourself?
Here and there. I mostly, as you know, like I collect Blu-rays and 4K Ultra, and now really steelbooks. I collect quite a bit. So
cool.
Physical media. You know, when the internet's down, who do you call?
Very, very true, sir. You've got a great point. If Netflix isn't working, just pop in Back to the Future 2.
Actually, I'm in a dilemma, and maybe you guys can help me. But I'm trying to find movie-related bookends that I could use to store my steelbook cases. So it's instead of books, it's steelbooks, but it'll be enveloped with some pretty cool movie-related bookends. And I tried Amazon, I tried Mundo, and I tried other geek cultural sites, and I really can't find much. I found one Terminator-related bookends with the skulls, with the cyborg skulls, but
I could see that.
They're like $200, you know, and I'm like, man.
Well, Matt and I, we're certified Ghostbusters, so
I
For
know.
me, I think a good recommendation for you would be the Terror Dogs. Just have 2 Terror Dogs, one on each side. If you can find them in a right size, like I'm thinking like the size of a softball would be good. But
Okay.
you know the Terror Dogs that that's Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver at the end of the film. They turn into these monstrous creatures.
Hmm.
I think that would
So
look
you
pretty
have
cool.
Zool
That's a good
and
one.
Vince Clortho.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. If I can find it.
Yeah, you guys see if
Yeah.
they make them in the right size, but I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I should ask John to make a 3D printout of it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a very good idea. And I'm actually about to mention him in a little while.
I know. See what I did there?
Getting ready for it. But yeah, so back to the Gray Fox, guys. I think it's pretty unanimous to see it, right? You know.
Yeah.
Oh yes, see it.
Absolutely.
And if people do want to see this wonderful film, you can check it out also on Kino Marquis Virtual Cinema for the new dazzling 4K restoration. So yeah, The Gray Fox,
Cool.
guys. This is a movie that I've never heard of until maybe like a week and a half ago, and I'm so glad I got that I discovered it, because I think it might be one of my favorite Western crime dramas ever. And I definitely want to see more of Richard Farnsworth, who plays the lead role, and also Philip Borsos, who directed the film. I want to see more of his work, because just the cinematography here is just phenomenal, and yeah, it's just a gorgeous film.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it is that time of the show. Critic Plugs, gentlemen. Matt, is there anything you want to mention? Any plugs you want to mention?
Yes. Coming soon is my new podcast. It's called Kid Champagne, where we will open up the champagne of all historic of our childhood favorites.
Can we get
I love it.
Can we get a little sneak peek?
Sure. Coming soon will be episode 1 of Kid Champagne, where we'll be opening up the Kid Champagne on Ghostbusters.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We look forward to that, Matt.
That is awesome.
It's the beginning of an era. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Clemente, anything going on?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that just popped up, but can't mention a few things, but there's always Foreign Nationals with foreignnationalsentertainment.net, and you can check out the Movie Lovers Podcast, movieloverspodcast.com. Gearing up to do some offbeat of that format of just reviews, but actually interviewing in a roundabout circle independent filmmakers. So
I love it.
getting prepped up for that. Yeah,
Okay. Any idea when that might begin?
I'm hoping within by next month. That would be great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's exciting. I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, guys, real quick, I want to mention that right now, the We Are One Film Festival, it's a virtual film festival. It's going on right now. And if you want more information, just Google We Are One Film Festival, and you'll probably find all their programming and information there. So that's exciting. Right now, actually, this would have been around the time as a Tribeca Film Festival. So it's really refreshing and nice to know that they're still kind of pushing forward with film festivals during the pandemic. So that is awesome. And also, guys, I want to mention again, a friend of the show, Mr. John Bartnick. He has a GoFundMe page to raise funds to 3D print PPE equipment, mostly masks, to essential workers. The goal is currently, it's $1,500, and he is currently at, I think he's still at $360. So if you want to get involved with that, just email John at nerdasutra@yahoo.com. That's NERDASUTRA helps@yahoo.com. So, drop him a line there. And also our wonderful sponsor, Magnitude Jewelry. It's a special promotion with orders over $50. Magnitude offers free shipping, an N95 mask, and hand sanitizer. So just go to tudegirl.com, TUDE girl.com, and check out that very special offer. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. This was a wonderful show as always, and I hope to have you guys on soon.
Hopefully again,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, guys, stay safe, you and your families. Be well. Continue to stay safe and healthy, and that goes for everybody watching as well. This has been another fun episode of Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger. We'll see you next time. Take care.